Hello and welcome to Priya's Corner. This is the corner where you get all the political buzz, the latest book, the latest TV shows. But today I have with me a very interesting guest. I have Karti Chidambaram, Congress MP, and someone, Karti, who's been speaking a lot in Parliament. I've been hearing you, and you made a brilliant speech on the Banking Act also. But first of all, I want to talk to you about this whole, this concept of one nation, one election, all the buzz that is happening. Where do you stand on that?
See, I completely oppose this one nation, one election. First and foremost, it's anti-federal, and it goes against the tenets of parliamentary democracy. In parliamentary democracy, you need to have the majority of house to be able to form government. The minute you lose your majority, another formation must happen, or you must go to the people. Yes, our elections initially were all synced, but because of various factors and various state governments had different tenures, and various central governments also had different tenures because they collapsed, and we had our election cycles were not synchronized anymore. But we should live with that cycle. And another point I'm trying to make is that having 2 or 3 assembly elections a year is actually good for democracy. That's the only way people can vent out their endorsement or their displeasure against the politics of the day, be it against the national party, be it against the state party. If you're going to have elections only once in 5 years, parties will take a laid-back view. You're in government for 5 years, you won't go and meet people, you won't have conversations, you won't react to situations. So actually having reasonably timed elections throughout the 5-year time, where about 2 or 3 state elections every year, is actually good. See, now you had 2 elections. You're reading the mood of the nation in a micro level or in a federal level, and that's necessary for democracy.
But there's also the other buzzword that is happening is this caste, the new census, delimitation, increasing the number of seats in parliament. You've got a whole new parliament with 800 seats to accommodate all the new members.
There are 2-3 different things there. The caste census is a data gathering exercise. Once I am for the data gathering exercise, after you gather the data, let's decide. Then there can be another debate on how you can use the data. As I just gave an example, we can count how many people are left-handed in this country, because anyway the locks and the keys and so many things are not tuned for left-hand. Doesn't mean we are going to change all the locks and the keys. Doesn't mean we are going to do anything about it. So we are going to count the number of left-handers. So we can count the number. I mean, caste census is also a little complicated because people classify themselves as one caste in one area, and in another caste the same people would classify themselves as something else. But let's gather the data. Let's gather other information also. But what we'll do with information, we'll do it later. That need not be tied up to the fact that whether we should gather the information or not. As far as delimitation is concerned, I don't think we need a bigger parliament. I think as it is with 543 members in the Lok Sabha, we don't get enough time to debate. And debate is becoming meaningless because we are voting according to party lines and it's become too large a house. Increasing the number of members will only make it worse. So I don't think we need a larger parliament. I think it is fine as it is, and you can't have a situation by which the South is penalized. The South can't be penalized for reducing population and by increasing economic contribution and having a lesser say in national politics. Then what will happen is that a political party will only concentrate on the larger northern states and form government, and the South will become even more irrelevant, even though we are socially better off than the rest of the country right now. So I do not believe that we need a larger parliament. And delimitation based on population was also very problematic, as it will alienate the South further.
But then what is the solution? How to improve the South's representation in parliament?
I think
What is your
this is very complicated. I don't have a ready-made solution. I think we should maintain status quo and must have more effective local governance everywhere else. See, really what people's angst is about road, water, wire. As I always say, the 3 things: pipe, road, and wire, are all local government issues and state government issues. It's really not the job of parliament. Parliament is for legislating for the whole nation, and we need to have an effective chamber which will discuss and debate, not a large house which is just a stamping house for the executive.
Fair enough. My final question to you regarding you made a speech recently in Parliament and you questioned the way the civil scores were, handled by a private agency. And soon after, we've had the resignation of the civil CEO, I think.
No, I think it's just an eerie coincidence. See, the point is that credit rating affects about 60 crore Indians. Anybody who wants even an overdraft against his salary, or to take a vehicle loan or a jewel loan or any loan, his or her ability to access credit is based on this credit rating score. There are few agencies which do credit rating, and the biggest one being TransUnion Civil. But that's a private company. There is no transparency in how this score is calculated. And if somebody has an issue with their score, there is no effective mechanism to appeal and to get it corrected in a short period of time. It's a very laborious process, and the process itself is not transparent. And secondly, there is also a time lag in which a person's financial transactions are updated in the civil. You might settle a loan, it doesn't get reflected. A bank might issue you a credit card which you don't want and you're not paying the annual fee. That's affecting you. Sometimes farmers get a subsidy and the subsidy, when it's credited to their bank, is not offset against the loan. So there are many problems. I think we need a far greater transparency and an overarching reform in this whole process, as it is affecting a lot of people's ability to access financial services.
On that note, Karti Chidambaram, thank you for talking to us and for actually not disagreeing too much. I think that's also
I think you learned to agree with me more.
On that note, thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.